So let's do this. So if you can, just put yourself in a place to where, imagine you have to have surgery, and of all places, your face, and on top of that, you can't see. So you just have to trust that the people who are working on you are, dedicated to doing the best that they can to helping you. In the recovery room, that was a bit scary, going into surgery and then coming out to surgery with feeling worse than what I did, because after surgery your body will start to swell, which is a natural reaction of the healing, yada yada yada. All I knew is that I couldn't see, and my face felt like it was on fire, and I had stitches and stents going down and up. I mean, it was everywhere, gauze, the whole 9 yards. Healing takes a few weeks to a couple of months. That's another turning point in the journey to where I just was feeling very, very defeated. I literally couldn't breathe out my nose, going back to can't see, going back to still having this migraine that is literally in the back of my head, but also in the back of my head in regards to thinking about what I can do to help myself. Along the healing process of after the septoplasty and trying to again figure out what's going on with my eye, I go to a doctor friend of my ENT, who officially diagnoses me with optic neuritis. We ran a ton of tests, and it showed that my eye, I couldn't control it. It was literally, if I'm looking at the camera right now, right eye was fine, left eye was down here looking all over the place, and it even hurt for me to forcibly try to control my left eye. I know that sounds strange, but all of my people who have had MS or have MS and have had optic neuritis, you all know or should know at least a semblance of what I'm talking about. So after I finally get my diagnosis, when you get a diagnosis, even though you're going through it, to have an answer to what you have going on is such a relief. And I hope that people don't have to, go through something to figure out that feeling, but those who are going through it, to have an answer is it's comforting and relieving in itself when you go so long without having answers but you have all of these symptoms, and then they want to throw fibromyalgia at you, which you all can look up what that is. But when doctors don't know what you have going on, but you have so many other things going on, and it's all going on at once, which is in my case, they always throw that fibromyalgia at you, in which case, my doctors know I don't like that word. I want to answer. That word to me, I feel like it's just kind of like a throwaway term when there is an underlying cause, but you have to have a doctor that is willing to dig deep and go into their knowledge that they went to to school 8+ years for, and a residency for 4 years for, to figure out what's wrong. And as a doctor, and I'm going to say this, if for any doctors watching, please know that as a patient and as a patient-doctor relationship, as a doctor, if you don't know what's wrong, it's okay to say, I don't know what's wrong. But at the end of that, say, but I'm going to figure it out. Or you know what? I'm going to figure this out with you. I'm not just going to leave you hanging in the wind or give you some bogus stuff because I don't have the answer. And then to leave your patient with that whole, just either throwing anything at your patient and or you not having the answer, but not willing to go the extra 2-3 steps to dig in to figure out what's wrong or what's going on with your patient, or heck, what could be possibly going on, and let's work it out, let's figure it out, let's try some stuff. I'd rather and I'm that type of patient that I'm willing to try anything at least once. In later videos, I'll talk about my migraine story, to where, I've tried over 18 different medicines. But that's okay at that point in time because I tried it. I'm not going to be that patient that, I have a problem, but I'm not willing to try, different medicines or try these tests or try these procedures, because then as a patient, I feel like I'm not doing my part in helping myself get better. So even if it doesn't work, I can look back and say, well, you know what? I tried this, I tried that, I tried blah, 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 and it didn't work for me. But I tried it to know if it didn't work versus saying, I have a problem. I don't want to try anything, but I got a problem. That just can't, that just doesn't fly, at least in my world, in my life, and in my book. And I apologize again for jumping around, but I'm making little caveats because there's a lot of just moving parts in my story, and a lot because I have so many other things going on. Stuff kind of like overlaps. I digress. So anyway, I was able to finally convince my neurologist that there's a problem, that my vision is still gone, that yes, I turned around and I had to have a surgery, and I have a doctor that's also confirming that something is wrong. She has optic neuritis. It wasn't until I got that diagnosis that my neurologist was like, okay, well, we can treat her for that. In one breath, I was ready to throw the phone at somebody. But in the next breath, I was like, okay, okay, got it. Somebody's willing to do something to where something can happen. And I do just mean something. Something is better than nothing. Something is better than the darkness that I sat in. And I sat in that darkness for a total of 9 months. I definitely got, and this is going to sound so weird, but I definitely have an appreciation for people who go their whole lives without seeing anything. I can't imagine not being able to see, my mom's face, my husband's face. I can't imagine what that's like. And I have to try to imagine the beauty of the world, but not be able to see it. That's definitely something that I don't wish to go back to, but I do understand it. This treatment that I got was I hate to say basic, but it was so basic, and I'm like, well, why couldn't I have gotten this when I said I didn't have vision, heck, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a month ago? Why? Why does it have to take so long for, movement and traction to happen? But that's a story for another day, for my theories as to why things move so slow for women, people of color who have a multitude of issues that are not just ones that are fitting in their little box of like a cold or flu or sinus infection, stuff you have to work for to help us. All they did was, put me on a steroid to help with the inflammation. I had to have multiple steroid treatments. I had I would go to treatment twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon. And basically I had steroid infusions. I had the infusions, like I said, twice a day for about a week. And then after that, the doctor was like, okay, you don't have your vision back right now. And to be honest, we can't guarantee that you will get your vision back. And if you do get it back, we can't guarantee that you'll get it back 100%. Like I said earlier in the video, when you have damage to the optic nerve, it's a very slow healing process. And then, like I said, the healing process is not always 100% once you damage stuff like your nerves. It's not like when you break a bone and it heals and it's stronger than it was before. It doesn't work like that when you start talking about stuff like your nerves. In which case, multiple sclerosis attacks the nerves. And that's just a real basic term. So, don't have a go at me just because I said the real basic meaning of what MS is. So, yeah, so, and like I said, I went, a few more months without any vision. After the doctor told me that, again, we can't guarantee that your vision will come back, if at all. You do have a very aggressive form of optic neuritis, and it's very rare that optic neuritis lasts, over a week, and it's also very rare for it to, again, take your vision completely. Mine, on the other hand, was very painful. It took all of my vision, and I lost it again, like I said, for a very for a very long amount of time. I finally got my vision back. I will never forget it. After that 9 months, I was in the shower, and I was just kind of trying to encourage myself and encourage my spirit. I was just kind of trying to come to terms of, okay, I might have to live my life like this. I might have to just go forever, and I have to make adjustments to my life. And let me pause and go back a little bit to the things that I tried when I lost my vision. Like I was telling you earlier, the hot cold compress, anything above the sun. I even went to an acupuncturist. That's how desperate I was. I went to see an acupuncturist, and that man, I was in there for I don't know how long, and needles all over the front of the body, flipping me over, needles all over the back. He even put the little electrodes all over and was shocking me everywhere. Right after that, took myself to the emergency room, and even the emergency room doctor was like, we can't help you. You have medicines, prescribed to you at your house that are stronger than the ones that A, we give in the emergency room, and B, stronger than the ones that even I can even administer to you. The only thing that I can give to you to give you some type of comfort and to possibly help you sleep, which it did, was morphine. In which case, at the time, I didn't want it. I was real skittish about morphine, but I was like, okay, fine, but give me, half the dose that you were trying to give me, just to help me, give me some type of semblance of relief, some type of pain relief. And it did help me sleep a little bit, because I was suffering from insomnia as well, which I hope is of no surprise that you have all that going on and then you're stressed and you have insomnia. That's how that happens.